Kinsey Schofield, how does Meghan Markle have the front to tell young children that she is the most bullied woman in the world when actually she's one of the public figures in the world who has been most accused of bullying?
Royal commentator Kinsey Schofield dropped a bombshell. Meghan Markle is jealous of Prince Harry. This shocking claim sent ripples through the media. Is the perfect royal couple crumbling? Schofield, an expert on all things Meghan, has long hinted at trouble. Now she reveals the depth of Meghan's envy. This jealousy, Schofield argues, poisons their relationship.
You think this is gaslighting, right?
Absolutely. But did you know, my favorite part of the story is that her team tried to deny this line on the same day that it came out. And to me, that's just absolutely insane, because in 2020 on a teens podcast, where again, this is a woman talking to Woe Is Me. In 2020, she told a teens podcast that she was the most trolled person in the world, male or female, trolled, bullied. It's the same thing. If she's capable of saying it once, she's capable of saying it twice. Yeah, I think that she's trying to create a diversion with the "oh, woe is me" narrative. She is so desperate to shake off this Hollywood Reporter article. And I mean, just to get into that Hollywood Reporter article, I know that that article was this big. It was how damaging it was. It was the shortest little article. It had very few details, and Meghan blew this story up in the way that she responded to it. Had they just ignored it, it would have gone away. But because she had to recruit 7 people on the payroll to defend her, because she gave Us Weekly that kind of access to her, which is so bizarre, because it's so beneath what a Duke and Duchess of Sussex should want, should be associating with. She really blew that story up. And so we are continuing to see her try to play the Mother Teresa card, showing up on green carpets for the Children's Hospital LA, where multiple people were in that building that have torn into her and Harry on national television, like Jimmy Kimmel, and showing up at this Girls Inc. event. This is clearly a brand that she loathes, and it really gets under her skin. But it's the Streisand effect. The more that she rejects it, the more that she tries to shake it off, the more it looks like it's legit and more people hear about it. I mean, just think, Us Weekly is at the grocery store here in the United States at every checkout counter. And so people that don't read the Hollywood Reporter, a super duper inside industry publication, and didn't see that teeny tiny paragraph about how that she was a terror, are hearing that she has been accused of this thanks to Us Weekly at every kiosk at the grocery store.
Schofield's claims are explosive. They paint a picture far from the fairy tale romance presented to the public. Her insights force us to ask, can love survive this level of jealousy? Jealousy, a corrosive emotion, can destroy even the strongest bond. It breeds suspicion, resentment, and insecurity.
Exhibit A, I'd love to be in that courtroom. Exhibit A, you just hand the jury a copy of Spare, where Prince Harry talks about people sobbing on their desks. Mm-hmm. How are you not astute enough to know that what you're doing right there is validating all of those reports that it was a toxic work environment, and that you are horrible leaders that do not know how to properly communicate with people? I mean, he put it in writing, black and white, right there. So I agree with you. I do think that she is not a very good leader. I think she is a terrible communicator. And I do think that a lot of it stems from insecurity. She never felt, I mean, I went back and read the Variety article, and I'm sure you avoid going back and reading things like The Cut and the Variety article, because it is nauseating.
Like torture.
Yeah, yes, but I went back and I read the Variety article recently, and she talked about how she was so hyper paranoid about being replaced on Suits. She kept thinking that they were going to recast her on Suits. 108 episodes. And at one point, the writers and production were like, why are you so paranoid about this? Like, chill out. She has a lot of insecurity that she needs to work through. And I think envy and insecurity was really what the issue was when it came to the Princess of Wales, Catherine. Catherine wasn't a mean girl. I don't want to share my lip gloss with people I don't know. There is DNA involved in that. And I just think that she's incredibly insecure, and that is why she treats people so horribly, because she is demanding that you respect her, because she wonders if she really belongs there.
What's going on with Prince Harry at the moment, Kinsey? Because it feels like he's doing anything to stay away from Montecito, and that he felt far happier when he was on his solo tour, back to doing what he used to do within the royal family, where he essentially doesn't have to do much work apart from show up and be lauded. And he seems to much prefer that to either working hard in Hollywood, certainly, but also touring with Meghan. Because if you compare his expressions and his body language in Colombia, it couldn't have been more different than when he was in New York, London, and South Africa this time around.
In relationships, it manifests as possessiveness and controlling behavior. Schofield argues that this is precisely what we see with Meghan. The Duchess, she claims, is deeply envious of Harry's royal status and the attention he receives. Schofield points to Meghan's past as an actress. She suggests that Meghan craves the limelight. Being in Harry's shadow, Schofield argues, is unbearable for her. This constant need for attention, fueled by jealousy, creates tension.
Yeah, I imagine that there is a lot of envy in this case too, because we grew up loving Prince Harry. Remember that shot of him getting in the car with Princess Diana? He's a little boy and he sticks his tongue out the window. I mean, he's naughty and we love him. Then he grows up and he's the one that always has a drink in his hand or smoking a cigarette. He was the bad boy. And that behavior, for some reason, we adored it. But the palace, they got him into shape and they completely rebranded him. And I do believe that he believes his own hype and thinks that people love him because of who he truly is. The reality is the palace painted a very beautiful picture of who this guy turned out to be. And I don't necessarily believe it was the truth. But because we are invested in this young man, he's an old man now, but because we were invested in him, the likelihood that we will continue to root for him is so much more deeper than Meghan Markle, who we still don't know. She's a chameleon. We don't know who she is. She just caters to whatever audience she's in front of. She feels totally self-consumed, and we're not invested in her. We're not invested in her success. She seems very disruptive. She seems very destructive. I think she must be incredibly jealous of the fact that Prince Harry can garner some of the positive headlines he has over the last few weeks, while she's got 2 kids on her hip being torn apart by the Hollywood Reporter and everybody going LOL at Us Weekly magazine. Like, is this a parody? This has got to be a joke. Everybody is fawning over Prince Harry, and that's going to cause problems at home. Ingrid Stewart even recently said people are more likely to forgive Prince Harry than they will ever forgive Meghan Markle. Harry gave Meghan that platform. She didn't have it before. And I think that she must be very envious of Prince Harry's ability to bounce back.
Schofield details specific examples of Meghan's alleged jealousy. She describes meltdowns over Harry's popularity. Meghan struggles, Schofield reveals, when Harry is the center of attention. One incident involved a charity event. Schofield claims Meghan became visibly upset when Harry's speech was better received than hers. These alleged outbursts paint a troubling picture. They suggest that Meghan's jealousy is not simply an emotion she experiences privately. It spills out, affecting their public appearances and interactions with others. Schofield's revelations raise serious questions about the state of their relationship. Can any relationship, even a royal one, withstand this level of jealousy? The constant competition and alleged outbursts must take a toll. It is difficult to imagine a happy, healthy marriage thriving in such an environment. Schofield's insights, whether true or not, force us to look beyond the carefully curated facade. They remind us that even behind palace walls, relationships are complex and often messy. Only time will tell the true impact of this alleged jealousy on Harry and Meghan.